case initially appeared to be a robbery, but further investigations were still underway. The criminals must have come with intent and left after committing the murder. On the other hand, it seemed that the reason was something else. There were so many valuable items in the house. Sunita was also wearing jewelry, and Krishna Rao had gold ornaments, including rings. Why didn't the criminals take these things? There were cabinets on both the first and ground floors, and inside them there were also some jewelry and ornaments, but they were not missing. It seemed that the criminals only took money because no cash was found in the house, as per the family members. The family mentioned that the house's door might not have been locked at that time because Sunita usually didn't lock it due to her husband. That's why there was no evidence of forced entry. The criminals must have entered the house easily and executed the entire act. Could this be a pre-planned conspiracy? Was there an enmity involved? The police started investigating the entire history of the Vasi Reddy family. It was found that this couple belonged to Indupalli village in Savai Mandal, one of the 20 mandals of the NTR district of Andhra Pradesh. They had 2 children, Sai Chand and Gopi Chand. Around 26 years ago, this family moved from their village in search of employment. They rented an apartment in the current office center area and started the Shriram Canteen, which flourished over time. Krishna Rao and Sunita educated their children and made them capable. Eventually, their elder son Sai Chand secured a job in the postal department in Visakhapatnam, Vizag. He moved there, got married, and settled with his family. Their younger son, Gopi Chand, started Mathura Hotel in the Pogathoda area of Nellore. He also got married and lived with his family in the Ramji Nagar area. Neighbors revealed that around 6 years ago, Krishna Rao bought land in Ashok Nagar and built a house. They shifted there from their rented home. They were known to be simple and peace-loving people. They never had disputes or conflicts with anyone. They always greeted everyone with a smile. Both husband and wife managed their canteen together and spent most of their time there. Their canteen was running successfully and they had no financial issues. Both their sons were financially stable as well. According to them, there were no disputes with relatives or any property conflicts. There was no known enmity. Then why were they murdered? When the dog squad and forensic team arrived, they thoroughly searched the house. A blood-stained knife, a crowbar, and a mobile phone were found. According to family members, the mobile phone belonged to the house. There were 3 mobile phones in total, but 2 were missing. The third phone was found during the search. The police suspected that the criminals might have taken the missing phones. Forensic experts started lifting fingerprints from every possible surface the criminals could have touched: cabinets, cupboards, and lockers. After the post-mortem, the bodies were handed over to the family for the final rites. The family went to their native village for cremation. On August 29th, the elderly couple was cremated. Gradually, the case gained media attention and became a headline. It was discovered that Sunita Rao was a social media activist for the Telugu Desam Party, TDP. Recently, she had criticized the ruling government by highlighting local issues on social media. As soon as this came to light, the case started taking a political turn. Could it be that Sunita and her husband were murdered to silence her voice under the guise of a robbery? The TDP's lower parliament president expressed suspicion, stating that there must be a deep conspiracy behind this case. Several TDP leaders visited the grieving family at their home. They also mentioned that a ruling party leader had recently pressured the police at the station to release some of his men from jail. They questioned whether the police served the public or the political parties. As the matter escalated, 3 more teams were formed for investigation. Now, from inspectors to SP-level officers were involved. Initially, there were 2 teams, but with the addition of 3 more, a total of 5 teams began probing different aspects of the case. Within a couple of days after the murders, the police also examined the family's bank transactions to check for any suspicious financial activity. They looked into possible monetary disputes. They identified and questioned local criminals and gangs involved in robberies or burglaries who were either in jail or out on bail. The police faced pressure from political figures, the media, and the public. Additionally, this was a high-profile case involving a well-known canteen owner. The police also checked Krishna Rao and Sunita's call records but found nothing suspicious. They interrogated everyone from neighbors to close relatives, as well as the canteen staff and acquaintances, but found no suspicious leads. Nobody had any doubts. Around August 29 to 30, during the CCTV footage review, the investigation team noticed something unusual. Two men were seen walking together on the road at midnight. Sometimes they walked, and sometimes they rode a two-wheeler. They were seen near the house moving from Ashok Nagar towards Paduru Pale. However, their faces were not clearly captured on camera. Then another footage from Shriram Canteen emerged, where two young men were seen on camera. This raised police suspicions. Meanwhile, forensic experts matched fingerprints found at the crime scene and discovered two unknown fingerprints. They compared these prints with those of the neighbors, canteen staff, and others. During questioning, it was also revealed that there had been a previous attempt to rob the house. However, at that time, Krishna Rao did not file a complaint, and the matter was settled quietly. It was possible that the same thieves had returned to commit the crime. When the police showed the images of the two men captured in the footage to acquaintances, they were identified as former employees of the canteen. The police had already questioned them earlier. These two individuals had stayed with the family throughout the investigation and even attended the funeral. How could they be suspects? The police initially dismissed them as suspects, assuming they were just supporting the family, like other staff members. However, the police did not want to leave any stone unturned. They assigned informers to monitor these two individuals closely and gather information. One of them was Kalganla Rama Krishna, a 22-year-old man from Chandrababu Nagar, Naidupeta town, Tirupati district. He was a relative of the Vasi Reddy family and had worked at their canteen. The second suspect was 26-year-old Manru Shiva Kumar, originally from Tukuru village in Saidapur Mandal, Nellore district. However, he had been living in Ramakotia Nagar, Nellore city. He had been working at Krishna Rao's canteen for the past 10 years. A man was a relative, and the other was a former employee. Both of them were like family to the elderly couple and frequently visited their home. The police received another piece of information from an informant. Shiva and Ramakrishna had purchased household items like a washing machine, double bed, and wardrobe shortly after the murder of the elderly couple. Buying furniture is not unusual, as anyone can do it, but what raised suspicion was the timing of these purchases. The CCTV footage showed only these two as suspects. When their call records were retrieved, it was found that they had been in frequent contact before and after the murder. This level of communication had never happened before. Their sudden ability to buy expensive furniture also raised questions. Where did they get so much money from? The police started suspecting them, and fingerprint analysis confirmed that Shiva and Ramakrishna's fingerprints matched those found at the crime scene. Moreover, when their location was tracked, it was found that on the night of August 27th, at the time of the incident, they were near the elderly couple's house. All these factors were enough for the police to take them in for questioning. On August 31st, 2022, 3 to 4 days after the murder, Manohar Shiva was the first to be arrested. At the police station, during interrogation, he broke down and confessed. He revealed that he and Ramakrishna had planned and executed the murder of the elderly couple. Both of them had been thinking about it for a long time. They had previously attempted to rob the house but failed. Shiva had even managed to get a duplicate key to the house. One day, when the couple was at the canteen, the two suspects entered the house under some pretext and attempted to rob it. However, fearing that they might get caught, they dropped the plan. Since they were like family, the elderly couple never suspected them. After some time, Shiva and Ramakrishna became determined to commit the robbery and murder. They observed the couple's movements for several days, as they were already familiar with their schedule. They knew exactly when Krishna Rao and Sunita were home, when they were at the canteen, and when their relatives visited. They planned the crime carefully. On the night of the incident, after all the staff had left, Krishna Rao was the last to return home. Sunitha usually left the main door open for him. Shiva and Ramakrishna took advantage of this and hid in the storage room, which was dark and secluded. Since it was nighttime and everyone was asleep, no one noticed them. At around 11:30 p.m., as soon as Krishna Rao entered the house, they attacked him. They struck him on the head with a wooden stick, and Ramakrishna slit his throat with a penknife. After killing him, they looted around INR 50,000 from his pocket, which was the earnings from their canteen. They also took some keys from him. Then, they entered the bedroom where Sunitha was sleeping. They hit her with the same wooden stick and slit her throat as well. After that, they searched the bedroom, opening wardrobes and cabinets. They already had an idea of where the money was kept. Some things were unlocked using keys, while others were broken open. They took out cash and also tried to break into a locker on the first floor, but it was too strong. They didn't want to make too much noise and alert the neighbors, so they abandoned the idea. In total, they stole INR 80,000, all in cash. They also took the elderly couple's mobile phones. After committing the murders and robbery, they left the house. They knew where the security cameras were installed and tried their best to avoid them. That's why there was no footage of them committing the crime, only footage from their reconnaissance visits. After fleeing the crime scene, they met in Ramakotia Nagar and divided the stolen money. Ramakrishna took 50,000, while Shiva took INR 30,000. Later that day, the police arrested Ramakrishna as well. During interrogation, he, too, confessed. He admitted that after the robbery, he had purchased some electronic items from Naidupeta town, while Shiva had bought furniture. Ramakrishna had even given INR 50,000 to his wife, claiming he had borrowed money from a financier to buy household items. Now the question remained, why did they kill Krishna Rao and Sunitha when they were like family? The answer was greed and revenge. Ramakrishna was a greedy man who always had his eyes on the elderly couple's money. He believed that they had millions of rupees at home, and he wanted to steal it. On the other hand, Shiva had been scolded by Krishna Rao in front of customers for making a mistake. Sunitha had also reprimanded him on different occasions. Since they considered him family, they never thought twice before correcting him, just as parents scold their children. However, Shiva took it personally and developed deep resentment toward them. Since both of them worked together, they often discussed their grievances. Their conversations turned into a deadly plan. One wanted money, and the other wanted revenge. The idea of murder came from Shiva, while Ramakrishna suggested robbery. That's why Ramakrishna took a larger share of the stolen money. On August 31st, the police officially revealed the details of the case to the media. A total of INR 83,000 was recovered from the suspects, along with the mobile phones and weapons used in the murder. Even after committing the crime, both men remained close to the family. They even participated in the funeral rituals, which is why no one initially suspected them. But when the truth came out, everyone was shocked. The police have filed a charge sheet, and the case is currently being tried in the Sessions Court. One man was driven by greed, wanting to steal money, while the other wanted revenge for the humiliation he faced. The elderly couple had no idea that their simple words would lead to such a tragic fate. Do you know that criminals can have many different reasons for committing a crime? It could be a minor reason or a significant one. Whatever the reason behind the crime, the actions committed are always inhumane, terrifying, and illegal. For today's case, you can assume any reason you want. The police investigated all possible motives, but when the truth came to light, not only the locals but even the police were left in shock, because the reason was truly unexpected. Hello friends, how are you all doing? Today we're going to talk about the Vasi Reddy family case. This incident begins in Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh. Near Vidyapalam, there is a locality called Padrupalli. In the Ashok Nagar locality of this area, an elderly couple lived in their house. The couple consisted of Vasi Reddy Krishna Rao and his wife Vasireddy Sunitha Amma. They ran a small eatery called Sri Ram Canteen. located about 7 to 8 kilometers away from their home at the Nellore Current Office Center. The couple had 2 sons, but they lived separately due to their work and had settled in different places. Occasionally, they would visit their parents, but most of the time, only the elderly couple stayed in the house. Since they ran a canteen, food was never a problem for them. They would eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the canteen itself. This incident took place in 2022. In those days, a woman named Ramanama used to sell milk in Padrupalli. Every morning, she would deliver milk to the Vasi Reddy couple's house. The date was 28 August 2022, a Sunday. As usual, early in the morning, Ramanama arrived at the couple's house with the milk. The daily routine of the couple was such that Krishna Rao would leave for the canteen around 5 a.m. on his scooter. After finishing household chores by 11 a.m., Sunitha Amma would also go to the canteen. In the evening, she would return home early, while Krishna Rao would close the canteen late at night and return home around 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. On this particular day, when Ramanama arrived, she noticed something unusual. Krishna Rao's scooter was still parked outside the house. This was strange. Why hadn't he gone to the canteen? There was a gate at the entrance, which was only slightly ajar. Curious, Ramanama pushed the gate open and stepped inside. But as soon as she reached the veranda, she was met with a horrifying sight. Her body froze in shock. She screamed in terror and ran outside. In this neighborhood, people lived in harmony and had good relations with each other. Hearing Ramanama's screams, the neighbors rushed out of their houses. When they asked her what happened, she pointed toward Krishna Rao's house. A few people gathered their courage and opened the gate to check inside, but what they saw next sent chills down their spines. Near the main door, Krishna Rao's body lay in a pool of blood. The ground was soaked in red. Everyone was terrified, but the bigger question was, where was Sunitha Amma? No one dared to step inside the house because Krishna Rao's body was lying at the entrance, with blood splattered all around. How could they even walk in? The neighbors immediately called the police. Within minutes, the Vidyapalam police arrived at the scene. They also informed Krishna Rao's brother Sudhakar Rao, who lived nearby in Padrupalli, about the incident. Upon inspection, the police noticed deep wounds on Krishna Rao's neck caused by a sharp weapon. There were also injuries on his head. It was clear that this was a murder. The forensic team was called in. As they entered the house, they saw that some of the household items were scattered. In a bedroom on the ground floor, Sunitha Amma's body was found lying on the bed. The bed sheets were drenched in blood. Like Krishna Rao, she too had wounds on her neck and head. It was evident that she had also been brutally murdered. Meanwhile, Sudhakar Rao arrived at the house and informed Krishna Rao's younger son about the murder. At that time, both sons lived in Ramji Nagar, Nellore. Upon receiving the news, they rushed to the scene. They immediately filed an FIR against unknown assailants for the murder of their parents. This was a double murder, a grave and serious crime. The police intensified their investigation. The police formed 2 teams. One team was assigned to investigate at the ground level. The second team analyzed CCTV footage from the neighborhood. At first glance, the crime scene suggested a robbery. The house was ransacked. Cupboards, cabinets, and wardrobes were all broken. Cash appeared to be missing. There was a locker on the upper floor, which the criminals had tried to break open, but failed. According to the family, the locker contained valuable jewelry and important documents, which remained untouched. However, only cash seemed to have been stolen. The police spoke to the neighbors and the canteen staff. They all stated that the couple had seemed normal the previous day. Nothing suspicious was noticed. After preliminary questioning, the police formulated a theory. Based on the evidence, the police believed that multiple people were involved. It was unlikely that a single person could carry out the crime alone. Another crucial detail came to light. Sunitha Amma used to leave the main door unlocked before sleeping, so that when Krishna Rao returned home late at night, he wouldn't have to wake her up. Since this was a close-knit colony, There was no concern about unknown people roaming around. Unlike a main road, there was no reason for strangers to pass by. This might be why Sunitha Amma felt safe leaving the door open. The police theorized that the criminals entered the house while Sunitha Amma was asleep. They murdered her first and stole the cash. Later, when Krishna Rao returned home on his scooter and parked it outside, the criminals ambushed him in the veranda. Taking advantage of the darkness, they brutally murdered him as well. After committing the crime, they likely searched the house for more valuables before fleeing. Family members revealed that Krishna Rao used to bring the canteen's daily earnings home. The criminals might have known this and targeted them specifically for money. After the initial investigation, both bodies were sent to the Government General Hospital for post-mortem. This concludes the video. Share your thoughts in the comments, like and share this video, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell icon for notifications. See you in the next video. Thank you.